Whenever a brand new Minecraft update releases, Mojang themselves put out a changelog so that the Minecraft community can know exactly what is inside of a given update. If there are features that are inside the update but that aren't listed on the changelog, it's usually called by that same community the secret features of the update, because these are features you can only find out about by discovering or playing around yourself or through some external source like this very YouTube channel. And by the way, hello, I'm ABXToyCat, and since the Microsoft acquisition, there's been basically no secret features. They've been very diligent on what they include on these official changelogs, but 1.19 was a big exception because there are 15 separate secret features that weren't on that changelog that I went through yesterday and that maybe you read yourself, but they are included in the update, and it's very shocking to see some of them not be included. I mean, for instance, Swift Sneak wasn't included. The brand new enchantment that you can find in the ancient cities, which were mentioned by themselves, it's not mentioned anywhere on that changelog, which means there is a brand new enchantment that you wouldn't have known about if you'd only read that. It comes in three forms. There's Swift Sneak 1, there's Swift Sneak 2, and there is Swift Sneak 3, which you can sometimes get on diamond leggings, but you can also get as a book and enchant onto your own leggings, which is maybe recommendable. It allows you to sneak faster, and it's a really cool addition. They also didn't mention anywhere on there, which is really strange in my opinion, clay renewability. I think they maybe just got muddled up with this because they did reference clay being formable by placing dripstone underneath mud. This clay right here existed because I put some dripstone underneath some mud, by the way. They did reference that you could do that, but they didn't reference that you could do this infinitely. Because mud is renewable, clay is therefore renewable itself, and what makes this even stranger is the fact that the Java changelog does reference, them being clay being renewable, which makes it even stranger they wouldn't reference it on Bedrock. You can now get an infinite amount of clay as well as an infinite amount of mud, and I think it's kind of strange that they've missed that second one. And the other weird thing here is the skulk sensor. So you might know the skulk sensor, it was directly referenced on the changelog, don't worry. It's a very fun tool. Look at this, by the way. It's a circuit where whenever the door closes from the redstone powering off, it turns the redstone back on. It's very fun, very pointless, but you know, what isn't pointless in this world? But the other thing you might not have known about the skulk sensor, because it's wireless redstone, it can detect movements and turn those into redstone signals, and maybe sometimes worse, is the fact that they also added wool as a way to dampen this in this update. Not referenced anywhere on the changelog, but a very important feature, because if you see a skulk sensor and you really don't want to activate it, place wool on both sides of it, and now you can see how it's not being activated whatsoever. This is a feature that you probably knew about from some video or snapshot or something like that. Maybe it's come up before in your life, but you might not have known the fact that carpet, so that this is the first real kind of secret that isn't just a weird omission from the changelog that makes you question how they made that mistake. Carpet, as a fun example, also works, but only from one direction. If you place carpet on top of the skulk sensor, now you'll see that it's not activating whatsoever. You can use as much carpet as you really want to achieve this effect all the way around, but yeah, did you know carpet works as wool, which makes sense because it's made from wool, but that doesn't, it's a very thin block and it's not even a real block, but it will prevent vibrations from getting to a skulk sensor. Unlike this wonderful door circuit, which I can't stop looking at. Anyway, speaking of things I can't stop looking at, there are a lot of other changes they made in this update that were little smaller ones that usually are the size of secret features that you probably didn't know about. If you know them all, leave a comment and be like, I knew them all because I'm so smart. But if you didn't know about this one, it's really useful if you're someone who likes to make minecarts with chests, hoppers, or for Java players, furnaces. So now, it used to be that you had to place a chest above your minecart. And obviously in this update, they've made the boat chest, which is a real thing they mentioned, but they didn't reference that the minecart chest recipe is now shapeless. You can place the minecart diagonal from the chest, next to the chest. You can place the chest below the minecart. Because it's a shapeless recipe, these can be placed anywhere around each other, and it will allow you to craft them, which is really great for manual crafters. For most Bedrock players who use this, it won't make a real difference. This is the recommended way that you craft it now, but you can do it in any way that you like, and there is going to be no issues whatsoever. However, there is one weird issue. I mean, besides the furnace minecart not existing on Bedrock and still existing on Java, they removed them from existing Bedrock worlds, but they're not here. I don't understand that fully. But here's the other interesting thing is that they didn't reference anywhere that I think is important. But minecart chests, once they're broken, they will only drop the minecart chest. They won't drop a minecart and a chest now. I think that's a big deal. I think that's a big change. And I think because they didn't reference the boat chest being the same, a lot of people are in for a surprise, whether pleasant or unpleasant, when they first try to break a minecart minecart chest or a boat chest after this update. So what else has changed? The parrots have also changed in this update because they obviously can imitate any hostile mob, which means they can now imitate the Warden. Isn't that adorable and or terrifying? And also, there is the Wandering Trader who has been updated to now... they changed him in quite a few ways. They referenced on the changelog. He will now no longer open doors, which is funny, just imagining a Wandering Trader opening the door to your house and leaving a creeper in. But also, something that wasn't referenced anywhere, despite all of those technical changes being referenced, is the fact that the Wandering Trader has a brand new trade. It is the Mangrove Propagule. So, I set up a Wandering Trader in this hole, and the fact that he is not here anymore means we're now going to have to just imagine there's a Wandering Trader. He can now sell you Mangrove Propagules for 5 emeralds, which is expensive, but for existing worlds, this might be one of your best bets. That's why I think it's so important to mention, because the Wandering Trader can be used to help existing worlds out for all sorts of things like this, and it's kind of weird that he doesn't sell them. Also in this update, they made the Nether spawning work differently. It used to be that the Nether was kind of like the overworld, just darker, but it had the same Nether spawning mechanics, so a mob wouldn't spawn anywhere there was light. Now mobs will spawn anywhere up to light level 11. This is a big deal. This is something you need to mention to people of existing worlds, because now somewhere that used to not, have mob spawning will have those same Nether mob spawning. They also, because they reference this on the Java changelog, they also have a really huge piece of information that is only referenced there, even though this same thing is true for Bedrock. They say their future intent is to prevent most mobs from spawning in Nether portals, and the ones that do will not immediately travel through the portal. Expect to see those changes in a coming version. So even though this is kind of a 1.20 or 1.21 change, maybe even 1.19.2 or something, it's very interesting that there's a huge change that will affect your Nether that isn't referenced anywhere. Speaking of changes that aren't referenced anywhere, did you know there are new music tracks in this update? You probably did. That's referenced on the changelog, but they don't reference anywhere that these new music tracks are biome specific. This is something I didn't know about until looking into music for something unrelated recently, and you might not have known that a lot of the new music tracks that have been added, especially post-aquatic, have been specific to one biome or another. And so, okay, we could argue that by mentioning the music at all, they don't need to mention the specific biome where it plays, because, you can work it out, look it up elsewhere yourself. Well, one, I would argue that's not how changelogs work. The point is, all the information about the update is meant to be in there, and that's what they've done for previous updates. But the other thing is the fact that there is another music discrepancy, which is they've changed a lot of existing tracks. So, have you noticed how there's only one Minecraft menu music now? It's called Firebug, and it's the one you're going to hear from now all the way till 1.20 or beyond. This is the Minecraft menu music. It's playing in the background now because of the power of editing. All of the Minecraft menu music from before can no longer be played in the menu. Stand Tall, Wending, and Infinite Amethyst, one of my favorites. Da, 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 da. You know the one. Anyway, so that no longer can be played in the menu, and also Left to Bloom and One More Day can no longer be played in the menu, and is now exclusive to forest, jungles, and old growth tigers. There is a forest exclusive music track, well, 2 forest exclusive music tracks, which is super, super strange. Also, Floating Dream and Comfort Memories can be played in all types of forests, jungles, and old growth tigers. So, yeah, that is a huge change to music. Minecraft music is much more biome specific now. This is quite a big change to the ambience of the world that you might not have, noticed bit by bit, because it's obviously a random based thing, but that is definitely changing over time. Also in this update, I won't spend too much time just talking about texture changes, but the brewing stand has slightly changed its texture to make the arms connect to the base better. The end portal frame has slightly changed its texture. The end rod has removed some unused pixels from its texture, and the mycelium side texture has been slightly changed to match other dirt-based blocks better. Again, very small things. And then finally, for the biggest and most exciting one, wait, actually, just 1 second first. I need to mention, back to that clay dripstone-based secret feature. I want to give some credit where credit is due here, because obviously this is just someone messing up on the public release changelog, and it's fun to talk about the features, and it's giving us an opportunity to raise more awareness and let more people know about these sorts of things. But there is something about the development of this update as a whole that I really like and I want to appreciate when it comes to dripstone, because dripstone was added in 1.17, and it was useful because you could grow it and whole sorts of things, and also farm lava with it. So there's 2 separate ways to use dripstone. And then in 1.19, they add a third use for dripstone, which is this clay thing, and I like this idea of adding something in an update and then adding more use to it later. You could say the same with the goat and the goat horn, which of course also came in 1.19, yeah, it's always disappointing because I keep looking at it and going, oh yeah, so copper, they're going to add like great uses for it any day now, right? And yeah, I just want to point out, you know what, copper, why isn't there a secret feature to do with you? Would make me a lot happier. But you know what else makes me happy? Splash texts. There are new splash texts in this update. I can't believe they didn't tell us about this. Maybe it's because of the controversy when they withdrew the Hello Russia splash text as a way to sanction Russia. But in either case, there are brand new splash texts like Shriek Like a Skulk Shrieker, Ribbit, Croak Team, New, Flower Forest TM Perfume, Hat Fridays, and then finally, Who Let the Frogs Out? You know, I like that one a lot, I have to admit. So yeah, there are brand new splash texts in this update. There is new music for the menu, which isn't mentioned, as well as new music overall, which is mentioned, but isn't mentioned on the biome specificity, as well as old music from the menu now being exclusive to forests. There's a lot of stuff going on with this update, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider subscribing with notifications turned on, or check out my all 1.19 features, you know, the official kind of like every feature one by one, or check out the 256 day super flat video, or you know what, just have a good day and go fight the Warden. It'll probably go well for you. And yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.